that would make a lot of sense. All right. Well, anyway, speaking of systems being broken, let's go play some Spooky Dwarf Fortress, shall we? So this is our Halloween fort. We're using a different tile set than normal, so it's much more ASCII. I will be playing a little bit slower than normal. But this fort's 5 years in. We've lost more than half of our dwarves more than once. We don't have a functioning military yet. We don't have functioning weapons yet, really. We're working on it. My military is just starting to be sort of armed because we've just started to get a couple of functional weapons. Dwarves tend to have a weird habit of dying left and right in this fort, and then moments later coming back as undead. We do have a couple of friendly undead on our side. There is also probably dwarves that are available to be named, so if you want to die suddenly and rapidly and quickly without me realizing it, you're welcome to ask for a name if you would like. As for the outside of this fort, it's raining noxious ooze, which is what most of this blue stuff is. It's this disgusting pool of acrid goo. There's this lovely little river in the middle. I'm going to shut my camera off for a second and give you guys a better view. This is the actual place that we're living. If I move out, you can see that there's trees everywhere. It is haunted, of course. I'm a big fan of this lovely riverbed, and I want to do something with it. The problem is I can't really go out there because there's scary stuff everywhere. As for the fort itself, we have this right here, which is, ain't much, but it's a place to live. If we go down, this is the actual fortress. This is where we are living. This is all that we've constructed, really. We've got bedrooms kind of on the side. Up here we have a temple. We have this kind of central room area with wood and other things and craft shops around it. We got a little tavern with a bunch of tables and chairs, and then some more little crafting rooms and a kitchen and some other things. If we go down, that's up, not down. If we go down, Goodwin Diamond, you can see our cavern lair, as well as the upcoming, soon-to-be second cavern lair. First cavern lair is real deep, by the way. But if we go down, 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 there's a second cavern lair, right? We've also been digging around in here, I think, to take little peeks. I want to say that we did find some sort of metal. Not exactly sure where. I want to say that we did, but I could be wrong. Is that where we found metal? Nope. This is where we found metal. So we have, in fact, found metal. We found silver nuggets, to be specific. You're interested in dying twice? Hell yeah. We got silver nuggets, and so we're starting to work away at, chipping away at the bits and pieces and chunks of, silver nuggets. As far as named dwarves in the fort go, the dwarves are DJ Huxley Fur, Raslime, Stony, Rolf, Brabimo, Athros, Wild Peak, Farana, Spooky, very aptly named. And then as I scroll down, down, we've got Wade Master. We've got Frog for Hire. We've got Listless Onion. And I think that's everybody. Yeah, so if you would like a dwarf, we do have 61 in the fortress currently. And I'd be glad to name you if you'd like one. If he wants one. All right, well, it also looks like we just got a bunch of new arrivals. So how's about a peasant who's currently making a mad yard dash all the way into the fortress, hopefully past the walls of undead. Right. Sorry, your name is hard to decipher. Olin. Do you want it just like that? Or do you want me to write it like? What do you prefer? Because they will never die because the fort is totally safe. Uh-huh. Good to know. That's fine. Okay. He is married to Muthcat Evan Glaze and is the son of Ezim Whip Contest. That sounds like quite the contest. And Ficod. And is an ardent worshipper of Thakkum Pure Rock. Also, I should note, this fortress is the village of GraveHarvest. And we are a member of the glorious Ghost of Markets, of the Modest Palisade is the name of our faction. The Modest Palisade. And you're 57 years old, born on the 16th of Sandstone in the year 198. His hair is wavy and his medium-length sideburns are neatly combed. His very long mustache is arranged in double braids and his very long beard is neatly combed. His very long hair is tied in a ponytail and he has a broad chin and his eyebrows are high and his skin he has a low voice and his ears are flattened. His nose bridge is convex and his copper skin is slightly wrinkled. His rust eyes are slightly protruding and his head is somewhat broad, and his hair is dark tan. He personally he sees competition as reasonably important, values sacrifice, and doesn't care about nature one way or another. He is interested in only facts and the real world, and is swayed by emotional appeals. He prefers to be alone and sometimes acts with deliberation, and doesn't seek out excitement. Tries to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others and likes to take it easy, tends to assume the worst of two outcomes will be the one that comes to pass and doesn't mind wearing something a little special now and again. Occasionally overindulges and commonly winks as a form of greeting. When he becomes exasperated, he starts to mutter under his breath. Needs alcohol to get through the working day. And you're a competent Marks Dwarf and shield user. So I think I'm going to give you... I think I'm just going to put you in the military. Golden Alliances. Because we need more of those. It is a pretty decent squad. They do have weapons. You love the ASCII? Cheers. And Soul Shiner, you would like a dwarf. And also, if anybody wants me to check in on their dwarves, give me a shout. Soul Shiner, do you have any preferences? Competent Swords Dwarf. 4 and 12 goblins in Abbey Sweltered. An artisan. Okay. Question is, do you count fish cleaning as art? Let's give you stone crafting. Well, actually, engraving? Engraving is art. Omric. Lungs. He feels satisfied at work, and within the last season, he felt satisfied upon improving carving, engraving, and felt bitter after getting into an argument and was horrified being attacked by the dead. That's a normal situation here. You worship a lot of deities, and you're married to somebody who doesn't live here, and your daughter doesn't live here. It's probably for the best. You worship Ral, the silvery deity of the Modest Palisade, most often takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with caverns and mountains. That's what she said. You worship Momos, who's a deity of the Modest Palisade, most often takes the form of a skeletal female dwarf and is associated with death. You also worship the Avalanche of Rocks, a deity of the Modest Palisade, most often takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with metals. Lastly, you also worship Akist, the Crazed Thunders, the deity of the Modest Palisade, most often takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with war and fortresses. You also worship Lumnum, the Whole Dragons, the deity of the Lucid Standards. Lumnum most often takes the form of a male dwarf and is associated with fate. You lastly worship Logum Moral Helps, the deity of the Quakes of Haze, most often takes the form of a female dwarf and is associated with happiness. And no, I don't want to put you in the military. That was a mistake. You're freed from your shackles of symmetry? Huh. Have I caused you a scar symmetry then? He is 150 years old, born on the 1st of Granite in the year 105. His very long sideburns are braided, and his very long mustache is arranged in double braids. His very long beard is neatly combed, and his medium-length hair is tied in a ponytail. He has a very clear voice, and his protruding round copper eyes are close set. His ears are extraordinarily broad, and his nose is narrow. His head is short, and his hair is white, and his skin is copper. He personally finds the whole idea of introspection completely offensive and contrary to the ideals of a life well lived. And he holds the view that commerce is a vile obscenity and respects power. Dreams of creating a great work of art and is greatly pleased by his own looks and accomplishments, is prone to hatreds and often develops negative feelings, often dislikes abstract discussions and would rather focus on practical examples. He tends to avoid exciting or stressful situations and likes to take it easy. He has a calm demeanor and he is quite ambitious and doesn't tend to hold on to grievances. He is generally quite confident in his abilities when undertaking specific ventures and can act without deliberation. He tends to ask others for help with difficult decisions and tends to be a bit stubborn in changing his mind about things. Needs alcohol to get through the working day, just like the best of us. Pretty much, yep. Since Stone is here, Stony, still a minor, horrified after being attacked by the dead, frightened after being haunted by the dead. Both normal here. Your right lower arm is dented. Still dream of mastering a skill, but aside from that, you're doing all right. Military is training right about here. So. We can't make unicorns. This is true. Only unicorns can make unicorns. Chat, does anybody else want me to check in on a dwarf or read a description? For some reason, I'm having a hard time smelting silver nuggets. Because I thought that was just silver ore. Maybe it's horn silver ore? Try that. The Waxy Hall. Now wants a guild hall. I'm gonna deny it. I'm not gonna make them a guild hall. Because we got bigger problems. What about unicorn statues? Those aren't unicorns, though. Those are representations of unicorns. Very different. Dude, I've been denying all of the guilds. Acrid goo, yes. Dwarves get terrified and very angry when they get splattered with it. Also, hey, Ned Flanders. Let's see. I'm genuinely curious now. It's like, is that... Oh no, Crundleheads are fighting with cave ogres. Union squishing capitalist pig. Ouch. Dude, we've got, like, problems we gotta deal with right now. Telling you. After we're done dealing with these problems, then, and only then, we start making them unions. I kind of wish that, like, unions forced those the members to, like, need better housing. Because, like, what else do you actually pay your dwarves in? I'm just saying, that would be real neat. If all of a sudden it was like, yo, like, you need better housing in order for your unionized dwarves to be happy. Okay, so I don't have horn silver ore. But I have native silver ore. It's like right there. I'm so confused. When did Twitch Train become spaceships? Twitch Train became spaceships? I've no idea what you're talking about. Oh, are you talking about something that's going on in Jess's stream? Oh, she's got the boost trains. I don't. They have like a different visual aesthetic. They like feature you on the front page as well as paying you money. It's because it's not a hype train, it's a boost train. Okay, so I can't. I do have Yeah, fucking. Okay, game. Well, we're smelting native silver. All right, so let's expand this a little bit. We've got more ghosts, which are just kind of par for the course, unfortunately. Which we're just going to keep putting into the temple right here. The dwarves get a massive mood. All of the dwarves that are part of that guild, Sewer Goblin, get a massive mood debuff. So if you don't have time or the resources really to build one quickly, which I could, but I don't want to because I want to. The way I want to build this fortress would be very counterproductive to building them, and they will request them again eventually. So I will, in fact, make them those guild halls. I'm just going to do it a little later. You know, I'm not watching Jess's stream right now, so I have no idea what you're referencing. So, Diamond, not to be mean to you, but go watch Jess's stream if you want to commentate on what is happening in Jess's stream. It's because I'm not watching it at all, so go watch her if you want to commentate on it. Commentating on her stream in my channel doesn't really benefit anybody. Then don't say it anywhere, Diamond. Jesus, man. You doofus. So, we're very heavily restricted. By burrows because it is a haunted biome. Let's do that. Because when you're in haunted biomes, you kind of have to. Had enough offie? Are you sure you've had enough offie to qualify as a waked frog? By the way, did anybody else want a dwarf that I missed? You see, you qualify as awake, but you're not awake enough? What's with the lack of awakeness, dude? You know what? Actually, let's jump back down here and just remove these. Just haul them. Just want them to haul all of those boulders. For item in. Oh, I see the problem here. I totally see the problem. Okay, so let's just zoom out here. Just give them literally everything. I understand what the issue is. I have too many burrows, and half of them are active right now. I'm going to do an entirely underground burrow. Now they can get the stuff. I understand what we're doing wrong. New team to coordinate it with ended up staying up. I hope you get an extra day off for your trouble. 'Cause that sounds awful. Also, it's not that the items are inaccessible. It's literally just that we don't have the ability to go to certain places on the map due to there just being zombies everywhere. So some things have just kind of become off limits in this fortress, which is a shame, but kind of just is what it is. Something we have to deal with. Because they're full of spooky undead. But because we've found silver, no, it doesn't make it easier to kill vampires, unfortunately. But what it does do is it gives us the ability to make very, 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 very effective warhammers, which is what we're going to do. So I'm going to be making magma forges, and we're going to be making warhammers. We're going to be training a bunch of hammer squads, and we're going to bonk zombies on the head with big hammers, and it's going to be a good time, damn it. But I feel you, Frog. The crappy air quality here due to forest fires, number one, makes me feel like I'm smoking cigarettes while I'm talking, which sucks. But makes it very hard for me to sleep because I'm a window open kind of person, so I have two options. I can have the window open and be constantly breathing what smells like burning concrete, and then I can't sleep because it smells awful. Or B, I can close my window and then not sleep because I have no air circulation and no fresh air. Like, in order to sleep, I have my window open year round. It doesn't matter how cold it is or how hot it is outside, my window's open. Otherwise, I can't sleep. So, air conditioning. So, what exactly would blowing more acid-laced air conditioning air in from outside do to help me sleep? Like, how would that improve problem A? It's an air conditioner, not a filter. It smells like burning tarmac outside, dude. Do you know how air conditioners work? It takes air from outside and it cools it, and then it blasts it into your place. And yes, I have a portable air conditioner for the summer, but it smells like melting concrete outside. How is an air conditioner going to help this problem? The hell are you smoking, Duke? Not to be like rude or anything, but how in the world would that help? If anything, I think that would make it worse. All right. Dwarves are going to start swapping over to wheelbarrows from the silver that they're hauling down. Go, we got dwarves pushing the wheelbarrows out now. Apparently we need buckets. Wood bucket 3. Cool. I'm very happy that you have that. I don't have a built-in aircon unit in my apartment. All I have is a budget small one for indoors because in Canada none of our buildings have built-in air conditioners. And the portable unit that I could afford when I bought mine, it doesn't have fancy features like that. So, I'm very happy that that works for you, Duke, but no, that's not an option. Trust me, the fan doesn't help me sleep in the slightest, Ibigog. Long story short, if there's something you can think to suggest, I've tried it. Stop suggesting things. I slept like shit. I feel like trash. And your suggestions are mildly irritating. I'm trying to talk with Frog about sleeping like shit. And your guys is telling me like different things that I've already tried is like this is something I've dealt with almost every summer for basically since 2017. At least for a couple of weeks. It sucks. And I'm sorry for being kind of cranky. But like, it sucks. Okay. Yeah, no kidding. So, if your suggestions would have worked, I would have tried them years ago. And they would work, and I would use them. But no, they don't work. Okay, we're finally starting to mine this stuff out. Also, we're probably currently, yeah, we're digging out more of those silver veins up top. It's supposed to rain on the weekend, so hopefully that fixes it. Fingers crossed. Also, as I drink coffee, my cranky will go away. I'll just start to sound like a chain smoker after a bit. Hey, I can work on my Mike Wazowski. Have you done your paperwork, boys? Mike Wazowski! There we go. Perfect. Everything is back in order. You right up there. Do that and that. I'm gonna make 2 more smelters. Get more of that silver smelting. Yes, it is in fact shitty. It's a very shitty comment, but, you know, I'm not saying that you're shitty. I'm just saying that particular statement is shitty. Because that's literally the definition of what that is. Enjoy your lurks. How goes the spookening? It's pretty spooky. Lots of ghosts outside. Lots of undead in the basement. Lots of random zombies everywhere. Why do I just have chitty chitty bang bang stuck in my head, except that my brain's going shitty shitty bang bang? I'm gonna get rid of that one now. By the way, I'm just gonna comment on this because no one has said a thing about it yet, and I feel like you guys are like very unobservant, and I'm a little bit saddened by this lack of observantness. You guys do realize I've had vote gremlin as a tag for like, I don't know, a week and a half, and no one said anything? Just saying. You guys gotta vote gremlin. Come on, not hitting the right hotkey. There we go. Channel, 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 channel. Seems like a natural tag, damn right. I've activated diamond to hear the word gremlin. Background? Where? What gremlin? Now that I don't know what you're talking about. It's raining acrid goo again. So the kind of funny thing about the caverns right now, right, is there's Crundles, and then there's dead Crundles. And the Crundles keep coming back as undead Crundles. And then more living Crundles spawn and they beat up the undead Crundles. And then more living Crundles spawn and they beat up the bits of undead Crundles. Then the bits of the Crundles that were undead come back as tiny little itty bitty undead Crundles. And then more Crundles spawn and then big Crundles die and they become Crundle corpses. So it's just like this slow process of piles of dead Crundles, except most of them it's like it's a Crundle's foot that came back to life, or like a Crundle's arm that came back to life, or a Crundle's head that's rolling around that came back to life. It's like bits and pieces of Crundles are just killing other Crundles that are causing more undead Crundles to kill more Crundles. It's quite the... Did you really just do that, Raz? Raz, I hate to break it to you if you're lurking, but you just, like, dug yourself into lava. I'm, like, a little bit annoyed by this. I really love it when they do that, when they're just like, I'm gonna stand on a spot and then step into it immediately and fall into lava. It's like, what? Guy. See, this dwarf knows what's up. Don't step in the hot shit. Jeez. See, Stony, very smart miner. Why'd you just drop on the floor, dwarf? Bronze pick for some reason? F's indeed, yeah. All right, well, let's push this up to higher priorities then. Let's do that one first. You're gonna... Oh, no, you're not gonna fall into lava. Ew. See, like I said, Stony smart dwarf. Don't he know how to get around this stuff without, like, accidentally murking self? The recursion factor of a Twix candy bar? What is the recursion factor of a Kit Kat candy bar? I don't even understand how that works. You know, chat, I do realize with my current situation, right now would be a really immersive time to play Firewatch. Now that I think about it. It's a pity I didn't schedule a Firewatch week for this week or something. We're brewing rocks from plants. They grind up Kit Kats to be an ingredient in Kit Kats? Really? What? That's... Huh. Okay. I believe it. But yeah, chat, you guys are going to have to be a little bit patient with me. I will do my damnedest to not be snappy or cranky. But, like, I did get, like, sub 3 hours of sleep, so... Hopefully by tomorrow I will sleep better. Worst case scenario, I simply end stream a little early today. So what you're saying is if I cut a Kit Kat in half, I get more Kit Kat? That's how I'm understanding this in my mind. Yeah, see, there you go. Raz Tekit has been missing for a week. Havoc, what up? Hey, good to see you. Please don't ever call me a bear again. But try not to poke the streamer, yes. And be patient with streamer if streamer seems dopey today. Because that might happen. Furnaces. Magma smelter. Kiln. Magma smelter. We are slowly going to construct more stuff. Paper maker. Fish cleaners need real jobs here because, unfortunately, they're not allowed to go outside and fish. Seems like our expedition leader is holding a meeting with Manom, who's very worried after being unable to pray for too long. Well, you've been unable to pray. Well, how about dwarf planting necromancer person make you a performer in the chapel and remove your heavy labors. Go complain to somebody in charge. And we will let you just go do that. Sure, you'll love it. Very, very slowly over a long, long time, probably. Would be my guess of how they made the first Kit Kat. Lots of trial and error. So does that mean that, like, a certain portion of all Kit Kats are actually, like, put aside to be used as ingredients in new Kit Kats? This is wild. This is wild. That's all I have to say about that. Because I had no idea about any of this. I assume this is, like, relatively common knowledge, but, like... Okay, true. I mean, that makes sense. Use the Kit Kats that look funky. Needs architecture. Okay. Other Fisher Dwarf, we're going to give you all the metalsmithing. We're going to remove fishing, and we're going to give you architecture. After you're done praying. That's not possible for Anna. Bad example. It's impossible for something to have too much chocolate. Yesterday's uneaten Wendy's burger patties go in today's chili pot. I mean, I wouldn't ever want to have a Wendy's chili, but I guess they still make that, hey? Since you said that out loud. You enjoy Wendy's chi? I think that's a different thing. Do not have anywhere near enough masons, apparently. It's all right when you're in the mood for it. I can't, you know, I'll be completely honest with you. The only fast food that I've been genuinely satisfied with in like the last 5, maybe even 10 years is A&W. And then a local chain of fast food. We have a local fast food burger chain, which is all right. Which I'm not even going to bother naming because it's super local. But like, it's been a very long time since I've been like even remotely satisfied with anything fast food related. Like, I get one emotion from fast food now, and it's just like, why did I do that to myself? If that makes any sense. It's always just a, man, I'm angry now. Why did I do? Oh no, a ghost. Wow, we've got like 3 ghosts in the fort right now. Soul Shinery is going to go get to engraving. So Soul Shinery, you are an artisan who primarily specializes in engraving images of your dead friends onto gravestones for the temple. For those of you who don't know, the long-term plan for this fort is I want to start turning my dwarves into zombies, and when I do that, I'm going to remove the gravestones, and we're going to have a ghost-filled fort. Listless Onion, somehow. Your dwarf's still alive. Don't ask me how. I'm shocked any of these dwarves are still alive. You're a swords dwarf still. You feel fondness after interacting with a pet. What's your pet? You have a pet cat. You got adopted. Congrats. I mean, you've killed a lot of zombies, so. Yeah, I guess like we just don't really have much good burger culture here anymore. At least over the like a lot of the good mom and pop-ish burger places around here have all gone out of business. Which kind of is a shame, but in some cases it's for the best. Not very healthy food. It's just not the best. Oh, also, we have this dwarf that's running around just nonsensically, like a complete and total idiot, who somehow has managed to have a kid. She was overthrown by the stresses of day-to-day living when she showed up, and she had ton with Wade Master since she got here. So congrats. I didn't know that dwarves that were overthrown by the stresses of day-to-day living were capable of having kids because they usually just like die of starvation pretty quickly, but like apparently they can. So that's cool. Also, like, developing a weirdly large army of baby turkeys, which I'm going to quickly slaughter. We're going to try and fill in this wall. Actually, I got to fill in all of these walls. The zombies don't randomly climb in. I mean, it kind of is what it is. I mean, you know, to quote something that my dad says, like, you know, when you live somewhere that has a very high number of immigrant populations, if they begin to outnumber the original population, then their food becomes more popular, which is what's happening here. So it's kind of, it's not a negative thing, but, you know, if you're a big fan of, like, diners, a lot of them have gone out of business because they can't afford to stay open because their clientele has vanished. Like, one of the last really good diners we had here closed about 2 years ago because the land where it was got too valuable. It wouldn't have survived the pandemic anyway, but... No? I don't believe I've ever encountered that. I don't even know what you're really referring to, Spear. No, we just don't have burger places anymore. Like, at all. All close early now? I never liked 24-hour diners. As somebody who used to work in 24-hour fast food restaurants, if a restaurant is 24 hours, it just means the kitchen is disgusting and impossible to keep clean. And you generally don't want to eat in those places. So I kind of got, like, pushed away from those because I worked in that industry for long enough that it was like, yeah, I don't want to, I don't want to eat in those places because I don't trust them. Not that they're bad or anything necessarily, but Outpost Liaison has arrived, and the wagons have bypassed because I can't get into the fortress, but hopefully the Outpost Liaison can. We have a place here called Tex Big Burger, which has moved around a couple times, and it's okay. It's like I would describe it as like a shitty In-N-Out. So In-N-Out, someone's gonna be mad when they hear me say that. It's like a shitty In-N-Out, or like a shittier In-N-Out. So I've never been super enthused with it, to be honest. I mean, one of the things that I used to really like about going down to TwitchCon is in San Diego, there's a lot of really good Mexican places, but there's also a lot of really good burger places. And we just don't have that up here. Like in San Diego and in LA, there's so much of that. We kick their ass with Japanese food. And like we have some of the best like seafood you can get in the world, and incredibly high amounts of like very, very, very good like ethnic and Asian foods. But like it's kind of a shame when you're just like, man, I just want like a bucket of fries, guys. I mean, like, yeah, there's like pubs that'll make you pub food if that's what you're into, and that's also pretty good, and like it generally does what you need it to do, but. Okay, how come these two magma smelters look different than that one? Oh, I see why. Let's get you going. You going. Let's see, what's straight down here? Okay, so if I will go up this way, yeah, okay, so that'll be fine. So you can be 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that. I declare a clown war. We'll put in one more smelter there on the side, and then we'll start putting in other stuff. Like, I mean, we have Fat Burger here. Fat Burger is pretty common, and Fat Burger is fine. Yeah, you did die in a very early battle. I could actually figure that out. Who died where? That's not the button I wanted. That's the button I wanted. Ah, there you are. Kodiak. Slab reads in memory of Kodiak, born in 158, struck down by the zombie yak cow abyss joys, the radiant pool of mouths. And 254. Loving mother. You were a loving mother, Kodiak. Your children shall miss ye. We used there was a bar that I think is still open here called The Moose that has a death metal aesthetic. Which is cool, like a cool aesthetic, but their food is awful and their drinks are worse. So I went there once, I was like, this is a really cool aesthetic for a bar. And then I was like, I'm never coming back. It's kind of a shame, but it just is what it is, I guess. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Getting them smelters up and running. Named zombie yak, yes. It killed a few dwarves actually. That yak killed quite a few visitors actually. Anul Volstkadol says, I am a liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation in this disgusting, stressful place. There is much to share. We've added information to civilization and world info. What requests do you have of our merchants? I'm going to request iron, because we don't have any. I'm going to request steel. I'm going to request iron and steel anvils. And I'm also going to request weapons. We're going to request shields. We're going to request spears and short swords. And I'm going to say gypsum plaster. And that'll be it. Let's discuss what we're willing to offer you for your craft store ship. But yeah, if anybody wants me to check in with a dwarf or figure out how you died, let me know. And Anul, I look forward to our meeting next year. Our fortunes rise and fall together. Or yours will certainly fall alone. But yeah, I don't recall you just, like, getting wrecked. I seem to recall you being in a fight, but it is hard to tell. You know, it's kind of funny. Is this... I made a deal with my audience that if they give me an extra $474, I'd forego taking this ghastly ad incentive deal. They responded by gifting me over 300 subs in less than an hour, so that's going to be a hard pass in November's Twitch offer. What's funny about that is my highest offer was $45 this past month. Like... Ugh. I think that was a genuine, like, typo fumble. And we got some more migrants arriving. So let's see how many dwarves that bumps us up to. So, Chad, if you give me an extra $45, I'll forego doing the ad incentive deal next month. Don't do that. I'm not going to do it anyway. I just think that's funny. Shout out to Laffy Taffy, good dude. You good people. Old school Twitch stuff. You know, it's funny. I've seen a couple older Twitch channels like start using the Twitch OG tag, and whenever I see that, I'm like, man, oh shit, we got a weaponsmith. Hopefully you make it into the fort. We need ya. Animal dissector, you're useless. Give you mining and stoneworking so that you're useful. What does which part mean? Diamond. I would think that what I just said was pretty self-explanatory, so. We're up to 67 dwarves. I think we're sitting at 67. Got 2 new peasants arriving as well. Are we raising a family? Somewhat fearful in the face of imminent danger. All right, we'll give you all the metal smithing then. Do you dream of raising a family? Is very polite. Merrymaking. Doesn't seek out excitement. Just all the stoneworking stuff then. Twitch pays streamer a flat rate to run X number of ads an hour for a whole month if they stream X number of hours in a month. It's generally either mildly tempting but not great deals or laughably terrible deals, and this past month's was absolutely horrendous. I've never taken it. It's why you get like automated ad breaks on some streams. To give you an idea, last month they offered me, it was like $295 to run 4 minutes of an ads an hour, which would be basically a 2-minute ad block, which is probably about 4 ads every 30 minutes, which I could disable for subs so you guys wouldn't see them, which I was tempted to take. I was looking at it, I was like, man, that's like actually not that bad. Like if I'm going to take one, like that's not that bad. I ended up deciding to not, and people were really generous, so I didn't feel like I missed out on anything. Anyway, for next month, they offered me $45 for the same number of ads and the same number of times streamed. It's like, wow, cool. That's kind of how I feel about that. Let's close that. Let's just queue this up here. Silver whammer. 20. No question. Question evil. Go ahead, go nuts. What's your question? Hi, it's us. You did great. We're offering you less. Exactly. But yeah, no, honestly, right now I'm just like kind of ignoring all sponsorship options and ad deals and whatnot because we've been doing pretty well. You guys have been very generous the past few months, and the efforts to keep us above 1,000 subs have been valiant to say the least. So I don't mind all that much. Get used to getting less. I mean, I've been used to it for most of my life. I've never been in a position in my life where I've ever gotten a lot of anything. So, I'm okay with getting less. That's fine. The overhead for my life has always been low. All right, so we... Sponsored? That's such a stupid question to ask. I've been sponsored in the past to do many things. People say that in such strange ways when they don't know how these industries work. But currently, no. No one is paying me to do anything specific right now. But I have been paid in the past to do things. And I've had various sponsorships in the past, yep. It's just generally a lot of work. And I'd much rather just be Patreon funded. Or Twitch money funded. Or YouTube money funded. Got nothing against doing sponsorships. They're just a lot of work. And I find I usually make more money when I don't do sponsorships because I don't know if it's like a placebo or something, but months where I do a lot of sponsored content, Twitch chat gives me less money for some reason. I don't know if that's like just weird coincidences or what the cause of that is, but I usually end up making less money in months where I do a lot of sponsored stuff. Watch time. It's a weird command to type in. All right, let's see. Let's swap my military over to hammers. Equip. Weapons. Actually... More hammers. Of that. Weapons. More hammers. Of that. Weapons. More hammers. Now, where I could just update their whole uniform, but I don't really want to do that. Because it will just become... the best weapons that we have anyway. What makes that number notable, Rog? There you go. So they're all running off to go pick up equipment now. Oh yeah, that is a modem bit, right? Huh. Things I would add that to the list of things I would never think of on my own. So 2 things, sketchy. Thing number 1, you can find out your follow age by clicking your own username. You don't need to type in silly commands like that. Thing number 2, if you want your watch time, exclamation point tickets, like half the chat just did in the last minute. It says your watch time. Slowly mine out this Magma Forge zone. Not the prettiest looking, but hey, it's working. God, there's so much blood and and Crundles, Mulmarians. Although we can, fortunately, test my military at some point by just running up here and beating the shit out of all these zombies. Which is actually, like, a pretty effective way of, like, training stuff. And increasing kill counts. I mean, like, look at all these zombie Crundles up here. That one's real good at climbing. It's kind of creepy. Also, apparently I still forgot to tweet. I posted on Discord and then never posted on Twitter. Oops. Not gonna lie, smoke does, in fact, make brain thinky worse. Tis raining acrid goo once again. And we've got a animal dissector who's withdrawing from society. Yep. It is, in fact, really bad. I can confirm that. It does, in fact, suck. Oof. But it's supposedly supposed to start raining tomorrow, so fingers crossed that happens. It's okay. Most of chat's been Captain Obvious for most of today. It's fine. I learned to live. It's claimed a mason's workshop. All right. Grabs a boulder. Hungry Head is fighting with a Crundle corpse. Is it possible to cut the head off of a Hungry Head? Is that even a thing you can do? Began a mysterious construction. What did he grab? Rough garnites and granite. It's going to be one granite something. I was going to make the take it for granite pun, but then I was like, you know what? No. So I didn't. I did think about it, though. Just keep him digging. Keep digging out this area. I am thinking about moving large portions of the fort down here. Okay, let's see. How much silver are we at? Bars. We got bronze bars. 88 silver bars. All right. Silver Warhammer. Fit 40. Let's just do 40. Just gonna make silver Warhammers. Let's also make some silver goblets. Just to keep them doing them things. You know, I'll be completely honest. If Streamer didn't need to pay bills, Streamer would have just taken today off because of how bad the smoke is. That's how today is. That's how I feel right now about the current air quality or lack thereof. Which also, because Seattle's getting hit as bad as I am, if not worse, it's probably slowing down Dwarf Fort development too, because I know Tarn always has, yeah. I'm like straight up just looking at their county right now on the real-time map. They've got worse air quality than I do. Means, these fires are probably slowing down Dwarf Fort development too. Hopefully it don't last too long. I know, like, last year, Tarn was making blog posts saying, yeah, I didn't get any work done all week because couldn't breathe properly. Great. The merchants will be leaving soon. I don't have anything to sell them anyways, so is what it is. Gonna cut away at the rest of this. Sweet. I kind of want this to look interesting, but the problem is it's like, it's too big of an area, so I think I'm just going to kind of start carving it down. Actually, you know what? Let's just do one more line along here. Let's not go this way. Then we're going to start doing this, and let's just try and, like, smooth this shape a little bit. Just try and make it look kind of interesting, because right now it's just ugly, in my opinion. Erod Lake Gulf wishes to reside in GraveHarvest for the purpose of eradicating monsters. Welcome, dude. There's plenty of monsters to be eradicated. Mostly in the format of zombies. Well, you know, okay, so Kit Fox is in Montreal, which means they're very, 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 very far away from this forest fire smoke, which means they have no issue. Zach and Tarn Adams are in Seattle, area, the greater Seattle area, which is right in the forest fire path. They basically breathe the same air and have the same weather as I do. If it's raining here, it's probably raining where they are. Or if it's not raining currently where I am, or if it's not raining currently there, it'll be raining in like a couple hours. Arab, the animal dissector, has created a granite floodgate called Kobe Marathul and claims it as an heirloom in the name of the family ancestor Urist Diamond Trances. Diamond, you're in trances. Hear that? I might use that for something, actually. Floodgates. Floodgate. It's worth 26,400. It's called Trouble Petals. He failed already, but I didn't even see the pun in there. Well, I mean, it's not really a pun. It's more like multi-references in a sentence. But this is a granite floodgate. All Crastor ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with cushioned granite cabochons and menaces with spikes of goshenite. Oh, goshenite. Good goshenite. Goshenite's a funny material, let me tell you. All right, we're just waiting on those jobs to get confirmed. I'm sorry, what? Oh, I see. So we butchered a llama, and the llama's wool came back to life. I guess in a roughly llama-esque shape. And then the dwarf mason Faded Corpse, who's one of my dwarves, punched the llama wool in the head with her right hand, and the severed part sails off in an arc. I'm assuming killing the llama wool in the process? It's fine. Seem to have family names? That's a, like, feature of Dwarf Fortress. None of them have family names. But that's something that's, like, on the to-be-improved list. It doesn't really bother me, personally. I actually kind of don't mind it. It just makes them feel very culturally different than Earth, which I think is fine. It's just like none of them have gendered names, which annoys some people for some reason. I don't know. To me, it's like... I feel like if anybody in Dwarf Fortress should have family names, I think it's the humans. But yeah, dwarven names are basically two given names. And I kind of like that, because it makes them easier to search for. Weaponsmith bit by a fire snake. Oh no! There's a fire snake right there. See? Fire snake. So for me, it's like dwarven names are neat because, like, I don't think they need to replicate Earth names because they're not Earth names. And I wouldn't mind the humans in Dwarf Fortress, though, having more human-esque names, more Earth-like human names, per se. And same with the elves. Like, I don't think the elves need to conform to our ideals of what is a naming convention, you know? It makes it feel less fantasy and more believable to me. But, you know, not everybody agrees with that. That's fine. I actually have a funny screenshot, which I put on Twitter last week of this fort, where a cat was fighting with a llama wool because a llama wool came back to life. So there was a cat fighting with a llama wool, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, kobold names should all just be like a string of random characters. Elven names, I feel like, should have a different structure. Human names should have a different structure. Goblin names should have a different structure. Like, because, like, I think that's, like, part of the fun of the imagination of the different cultures that, you know, your world generates, right? It's like, maybe in this world, dwarves do all have family names. Maybe in that one they don't. You know, like, stuff like that. It doesn't bother me because it's just, like, it adds to it a little bit. It can't come back after it's made into yarn. No. Well, this is unspun yarn. Imagine just like putting on a sweater and then the sweater just like starts strangling you. It's like, ah! It should be procedural for each civilization. I mean, there's supposed to be more procedural language in the game. Currently, I think demons, and I know angels do, and kobolds do, are the creatures that have procedural language. Everybody else's languages are pre-written and predefined. But supposedly, like, we're supposed to get more procedural languages with myths and magic, but I don't know if that'll actually happen. Yeah, well, I mean, like, the dwarves are always pretty static, right? Like, it's not like the stuff that you can build change from world to world, so it kind of makes sense why they would have similar naming schemes from world to world, you know? Kind of makes sense, Net? I don't know. I think it makes sense. There we go. We're getting more Warhammers made. Let's get us some more military dwarves, because these ones look like military dwarves. I mean, how many kills do you have? Yes, you've killed a bunch of goblins, so let's just put you into the military. You're a clerk, which usually means we're in the military at some point. Orc due to inebriation. You've killed some goblins. 3 goblins in your life. You're creating a great work of art. You brave it all. Can sometimes act without deliberation. Rarely fears discouraged. Is grateful when others help her out. And tries to return favors. Is pleased by her own appearance. Talents and likes to keep things practical without delving too deeply into the abstract. Alright, you can join the military as well. Pi, what up? It's good to see you. More hammers. And more hammers. But how's things, Pi? Hope you've been well. What you been up to, man? But yeah, chat, if you guys, granite door has been destroyed. Llama wolves fighting? Okay, but like, why was a granite door destroyed? That doesn't seem right. I would almost say that seems bad. Relatively frequently. I don't know exactly. It was like it's one of the last 2 or 3 versions that it started more frequently. It's supposed to, you get dwarves that are based on like what your mountain home exports. So if it's like, oh, they've dug too deep a whole bunch, you'll get a lot of strand extractors. If they have a lot of metal, you'll get a lot of weaponsmiths, other stuff. Things are great. You've entered working life. Oh, really now? Which is way more, which you like. Oh, you like way more than student life. Well, that's good. You actually have weekends now. Also work is fun and colleagues are too. Well, that's good. Hell yeah, dude. Welcome to big boy life, I suppose. For those of you who don't know, I May Be a Slice of Pie has watched this stream about as long as I can remember. So, on and off. So, congratulations. on entering the world of working. Spooky fort indeed, yes. I've never actually had a follow age command. No, you've been following since June 2016. Sorry, 2017, not 16. You can find that out by clicking your own account. It's like 5+ years. Yeah, long goddamn time. Very long time. Very, very long time. What part of we don't have a follow age command that I stated out loud multiple times in the last 5 minutes do you not understand? Literally click your own account. Literally just like click on your name, especially if you're on a computer. Just click on your name and it'll tell you when you followed. I've never had a follow age command in this chat and I never will. Seems low given for the duration of 7 days. Wait, what? What, like Pies? Just because Pie isn't here all the time doesn't mean they haven't been watching for a while. 2 years? Yeah, time flies. You don't have to click your username after you type in follow age. Literally just click your username. Like, come on. But I digress. Some people are here literally all the time, Soul Shinery, and then some people tune in for 20 minutes and then tune out. I think Pi is one of the latter. No need to, like, call them out for the time being lower than other people's time. Some people have more free time than others. And how would your name be in chat, though? Because if you type literally anything else, then it doesn't make other people type in a command that doesn't exist. God, I wish I could do that. Right now, I think I'd rather be in a war zone than where I live, Taigo. Because our air quality is currently worse than Beijing by a lot. What's going on in Vancouver? Americans started a big old forest fire just across the border, and it spread into Canada, and the smoke is lingering here. We have the second worst air quality on the planet right now. So if I seem cranky, that's why. Because I didn't sleep last night. And please don't start suggesting things. I've literally tried everything. This is almost annual occurrence at this point. It sucks. Gotta love climate change. My brain can't process that sentence, listless. All right, dwarves, come on. Keep mining away. Thing is, I don't know when I'm going to hit lava again. Actually, I'm okay for a little bit. So let's just do that. That should look fine. Hopefully once they dig it out. Weird right now, but... Spoken like a true was a student for way too long person. Pie. All right. You know what, chat? I can't do this. Our air quality's too bad. It smells like burning tires in here. I'm just gonna be cranky all day and snapping at people. This is not gonna be optimal. This sucks. I don't like streaming for only 2 hours, but I can't